I thought it would be really kind of fun to share a little bit of the history of the village of Oak Creek because as someone who didn't grow up here, haven't lived here my whole life, I I like to know, sorry, take the glass off, about the communities that I live in. And I like to know the areas, and I'm kind of a history nut. So let me just share with you what I found. And there's a whole bunch more information I'm going to share about the village of Oak Creek, which is an unincorporated area. So its zip code is Sedona, but it's actually a separate area. So I'm just going to share this with you. So the birth of the village of Oak Creek, VOCA, VOCA, is the largest and foundational homeowners association in the history of Big Park region. And it's a classic story of everyday citizens stepping up to save their community, which is so cool, from a major crisis. So VOCA was born out of a community-wide rescue mission. And so here's kind of the backstory and how they got there, or why they got there. So in the late 1800s, early settlers called that wide open space, that's now the village of Oak Creek, Red Rock territory that was 7 miles south of the Sedona Big Park. And you'll see that there's a, it's called Big Park. And you're like, what is that? That's a whole nother area in the village of Oak Creek. That's kind of started it. In the early 1960s, a developer stepped in and was going to transform this pioneer ranch into a master plan retirement and second home community, officially naming it, branding it, the village of Oak Creek. Now, the centerpiece of this grand vision was a beautiful 18-hole championship golf course designed by the legendary Robert Trent Jones Sr. and Jr. And the developer sold off roughly 1,300 lots, and the families began moving in. However, in the mid-1974, economic trouble started to happen, and the original developer went bust. Of course, it was at that time, I think, that things got a little crazy. And so this master plan community faced a really grim future, which was they're going to lose their golf course and all the accompanying recreational facilities that went with it. It was just going to go into foreclosure, and who knew what was going to happen and who was going to own that? And obviously, having those amenities really impacted the value of the homes and the draw to come into the area. So in 1975, there was a grassroots rescue. This is so cool. So the residents started looking at this potential loss, and they decided we are going to take control of the situation. And so a very tight-knit group of homeowners of about 150 to 200 residents, families, and non-residents banded together, and they did an impressive thing. They did a huge grassroots fundraiser, and they came up with $500,000, which is a lot of money back in 1975. It's still a lot of money. And they used those funds to completely buy out the almost foreclosed developer. And now they owned the golf course, the common lands, the amenities. Everything was now owned by the homeowners. And so that meant that they actually bought the land that their community social amenities were seated on. Is that not cool or what? And so they owned their own amenities. Now the homeowners own them, obviously shared between all these families. So that was what happened in 1975. Now fast forward. So now VOCA, it's been in effect now since 1975, and they have 25 distinct subdivisions. And again, I talk about that in the video regarding the HOAs, VOCA, and then you have another potential HOAs, CC&Rs on top of that. So something to keep in mind. And they have over 2,300 lots. So that means that each home there has access to and the ownership management of the Robert Trent Jones Championship Golf Course, a neighborhood bistro tennis and pickleball courts, I haven't played yet, and local park spaces. So it's all part of VOCA, and everybody who lives there gets to have a piece of it. They all own a little piece of it. And because the area remains unincorporated, VOCA effectively serves as the early framework for keeping the neighborhood's standards, architectural harmony alive long before, it became what it is today. And it's a very lively, active, dark sky community. They are a certified dark sky community, which I will talk about in another video. This is 179 heading into Sedona and the village of Oak Creek. It's a bit of a hazy day today, so you're not going to get some great views of the mountains, red rocks that we normally get, but you're going to get to see some pretty awesome views because this is a very scenic drive into the village of Oak Creek. As we're driving, it's important to note that this is all Coconino National Forest. So from I-17 on the I-179 until we get into the village of Oak Creek, it's 15 miles of state forest land. And as we come around this curve here, you're going to start seeing some of the red rocks. It's a little different look than you're going to see on the West Sedona side. But still red rocks, still absolutely stunning mountains and landscapes. Again, remember, this is all national forest. So there's no homes in here. This is all preserved for wildlife, and there's a lot of hiking trails in here. People can go off and camp, and you can see the great big mountain range, red rocks coming ahead of us as we pull into and get closer to the village of Oak Creek. As you're coming in on 179, you can certainly pull over at the ranger station here and get a lot of information about the area, hiking trails, parks, and that type of thing. To the left up here, you're going to see Bell Rock. It looks like a bell, and we are going to drive closer. I've been on that hike many times. It's a very lovely hike. So yeah, like I said, it's a very scenic drive into Sedona, aka the village of Oak Creek. Now we're coming into the outskirts of the village of Oak Creek. There is primarily residential living here, not a lot of commercial properties, but it's an absolutely stunning part of town to live in. It's also very quiet compared to the West Sedona side, see entering village of Oak Creek. It's an HOA. It is not an actual city. And that was very confusing for me. And people called it VOCA, V-O-C-A, which I didn't know what that was either. So I'm just trying to clue you in so that when you come and you visit and you're looking at properties in the area and you're considering Sedona, you can come across as being very knowledgeable and you already know what VOCA means and what the village of Oak Creek is. So that's just stunning. It's just absolutely gorgeous. Now we have some businesses coming up here. We have hotels. There are restrictions here on how high you can build. So you're going to see a hotel and storage area that are actually built down. They had to dig down to a certain level so that the views of the mountains were not blocked by their buildings. So one moment here, and we're going to cross up here. Now this here, we're going to just drive really quickly through this little shopping center. This is one of the few shopping centers in here. It has some restaurants. As you see, they have to dig down because it has to stay at a certain level to maintain those amazing views. So we've got standard Verizon, restaurants, shoe stores. Things kind of come and go in here. This is one of the busier shopping areas, boutiques, etc. Now this is, we're going to drive over here. This is the hotel that I was telling you about, that they had to dig down to put in the hotel because, and it's a very nice hotel, but to maintain those mountain vestiges. You have to be very careful driving through here. Today is the day after a holiday weekend, so as you can see, they had to dig down to put that in, and the storage unit, they also had to dig down to put the storage unit in. Look at those amazing, amazing views. Is that not awesome or what? So, now the Village of Oak Creek does have a 18-hole golf course, and the dues that the community pays, all of the homes in the Village of Oak Creek, except for a handful, pay annual dues to the Village of Oak Creek. And that maintains the golf course and the clubhouse, and I believe there's a restaurant over there as well. There is one grocery store in the Village of Oak Creek. I'm gonna drive up here. It's called Clark's. It's over here on the right. We're gonna just drive in because it's a beautiful residential area. And the homes here usually start at least $750. So there are some condos that are going to be less, but even the manufactured homes here, unless they're completely trashed, are going to be starting at potentially $600,000. So it's not an inexpensive area to buy in. However, you get the benefits of living in Sedona without as much of the tourist traffic and congestion. It's a much quieter part of Sedona. Yes, there are hiking trails you can get to here as well. Sedona has no shortage of hiking trails and access to different activities, outdoor activities. All right, I'm going to cut around and give you again a little more tour of the area. Plus, this is going to bring us through to, this is the golf course. Here's the golf course. So we've got the golf course, which is quite lovely, and clubhouse. So this is where you would come if you're going to golf in Village of Oak Creek. This is the clubhouse. Here's the actual clubhouse. And views, obviously, of the mountains everywhere. To drive over a golfer. That would be bad too. See that? Oh my God. I love the mountains here. It's just amazing. Simply amazing. Is that right? Oh my God. If you were in the car with me, you'd feel like you're driving right into that mountain. It is so massive. Oh my Lord. I love it. Love it. And just giving you a little more feel for the homes in here. There are restrictions on coloring that you can paint your home. Again, they're very wanting to stay blended in with the community. So you're not going to see purple or green or red or pink or blue houses because it's just not allowed. And they also want it to be not highly reflective, so it doesn't shine at night. This is a dark sky community. There are no sidewalks. There are no street lights. And that can be a little distressing for people that are not familiar with the area and are coming in at night. So I strongly encourage people to plan ahead and try and arrive before dark, because it's very dark. Homes cannot have lights on that are above a certain level of luminosity. It's just really committed to the dark sky community, and you're going to see amazing night skies here. Now we're going to head out on Jack's Canyon Road. This is Jack's Canyon, and there are larger homes and acreage homes out here. This is important also to keep in mind, is that the Village of Oak Creek is a HOA that covers probably 95% of the village. I mean, the Village of Oak Creek is the HOA. So 95% of the homes here belong to that HOA. However, with that in mind, there can be two HOAs, so that there could be another subdivision that has its own personal private HOA in addition to the Village of Oak Creek's HOA. So it's layer on layer, which can be an issue for some people. The Village of Oak Creek HOA dues are not super expensive. However, their restrictions apply in addition to any additional HOA subdivision restrictions, CC&Rs. So it's just something to keep in mind as you are home searching potentially in the Village of Oak Creek. Look at these mountain vistages. This is why people love living over here. I mean, anywhere in Sedona, people come for the views. They come for the culture and the art, the outdoor activities. There's just so many reasons to want to live in the Sedona area. And all of those are great reasons to live here, because it is beautiful. It is absolutely a stunning area to live in. Here is more of a residential area. It's just a really, I mean, all the homes in here are just beautiful. However, not all are updated, not all are super well maintained, but on the outside they look great. I have toured some homes in here that were they were unreasonably asking price, because we're in Sedona. It should be that much. However, you do have to maintain your home to maintain the value. Yeah, I've done a lot of, I've looked at a lot of houses, and I recognize many of these homes as ones that I've toured at one time or another. You're also going to notice that there's a lot more mature trees here. We're higher up elevation. It's cooler weather. We do have 4 seasons, and these homes have been here a long time. So it's a mature community with mature trees and cooler weather in the winter, also cooler weather in the summer. And they do get snow more often than Cottonwood or the Verde Valley. Again, those amazing mountain views. Can you imagine sitting in your backyard and this is what you see? Woo! Love it. And look at this. Look at this. Just spread out in front of you. Glorious, glorious views. Again, as I said, more of these properties have acreage. There are ranches in here. I know that sounds weird, but there are some horse facilities here. As you can see, these properties have a lot more elbow room between them. Still have those amazing views. Again, trail crossing. I don't know if that's for people or horses. Hard to tell. Probably both. Okay, vestiges are absolutely stunning. Stunning. Mountains break through the trees. There's that lovely clay. Get that on your shoes, on your clothes. It's really hard to get out. Spell rock again, certainly. Isn't that amazing? Just fantastic. So, you tell me, which part of the Sedona area, the village of Oak Creek, which the zip code Sedona, because they don't have their own government, they are governed by the Yavapai County. Or do you like West Sedona better? And we're going to be talking about that more. So stay tuned for more Sedona video information. It is part of the area. It's a beautiful part. So I'd like to share more about that with you. But tell me which one you think you might like better, the Village of Oak Creek or West Sedona.